fuck? There we are. We are live. Welcome to today's live SEO Q&A session with me and Mr. chrispalmer.org. You can find him easily on that domain name. Sponsored by the news guy, Randy Roday. The link is below if you're interested in digital PR. And Randy is your man. Great deliverable for your clients and a great service all round. And he's a great guy. So do check him out using the link below. But over and above that, we are here to answer your questions today. So put your questions in the live chat and we will work through them. First come, first serve, and get through them as many as we possibly can. And also just let us know who's listening, where you're from, and all of that good stuff as well. It's always nice to see where people are listening in from. So let us know. But before people pile in with their questions, Chris, what's new? What's been happening in the last week? Anything?
The last week? Nah, not really. Not.
Just the same old grinds.
Same old thing. That's it, man. Doing some more tests. Dude, it's the same old actually, which is good. Nothing new.
The same old's always good as well.
I think
people always say to me, "What's new?" And you're like, "Fuck all." Just doing the same old shit, trying to iron out some of the kinks in the shit that I already have. So, yeah, you don't need to be launching something new every week.
No,
which
definitely not every week.
A lot of people think you have to be doing that. So, yeah, it's not ideal, but shit happens. But conference-wise, Chris, when's your next conference? Any conferences coming up?
Not that I know of. Like ones I'm going to speak at or ones I want to put on?
No, ones you're going to speak at or ones you're going to put on.
Speaking, I don't know. William was asking me, but I think that's about it. No one else asked me recently.
Are you going to go out to the Philippines?
I might. It's kind of fun there.
Yeah. I'm going this year.
Oh, you're going out there?
Yeah.
Okay. Well then I'll be there.
And
I'm gonna be honest, dude. I kind of liked the trip. Mm-hmm. I liked Emirates and like I enjoyed the well, this time I'm gonna go business both ways instead of just one. I'm not gonna cheap out this time.
Nah.
I think I'm gonna do it right this time. See, last time I just did it one way because I was like, man, that's like crazy, but I learned my lesson.
I'm going to stop off in the Emirates as well for a few days.
100%
back. I love the Emirates, so stop off. I'll go via the Emirates to the Philippines. That's always the stop off point for people in the UK. So you get a switch over there, then straight out to the Philippines, do the conference, and then on the way back, I'll stop off for a couple of days, chill out, and just get used to the time zone, or halfway back into the time zone, and then fly back to the UK. So
the airport is nuts.
What, the Emirates one?
Yeah, dude. When you're walking around, it's like I don't know the exact lineup, but it was like Dior, LV, Gucci, like it was like bang, 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 and I'm like, where the freak are we? It was awesome. And I was wandering around. I like how they like set the things up. It's I like that airport. It's fun.
It's a nice, but it's a big ass airport. That's the only thing I hate. It's you just everywhere I seem to go, it's always the first away fucking place possible.
Oh, every time, and you got to like get on trams, go through. Yeah.
You're just like, fuck, what the hell's going on?
I think isn't that the Emirates airport? That's the one. It's got the tram in it.
Yeah.
There's A, B, C, and you're like, yeah. Because I messed up one of them. I'm like, oh, I'm at this. I was like, oh man, I got to get on a tram. Yeah, it's fun, man. I like that. I like that airport. You know what? Another really good one is in Atlanta. I know that seems odd, but I think it's Atlanta.
Atlanta's another major connection point, right? I think for the US, I think a lot of the UK flights land in Atlanta, and then you can get off and go somewhere else. So I think
Wherever
those
you
kind of,
want.
yeah. But I think Dubai's a massive connection point for that side of the world as well. So I think anywhere that's a connection point is
Hot.
a hell of an airport. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you wouldn't think like it. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's much there in the middle of the desert, you know, but there really is.
It's one of my favorite places. I don't know. It's like Vegas of the East, if you want to call it that.
That's cool. Yep.
Yeah, I love it. But it's 45 degrees there right now, which is a killer. So I'm glad.
It's 45 degrees in the desert?
Yeah.
Wait, it gets cold there?
No, dude, that's warm. That's like 130.
So 45 Celsius is hot as hell.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know, because degrees, I'm thinking 45. I'm like, that's kind of nippy.
No. Never gets cold here, man.
I wouldn't think.
But Michael Likens is here.
Howdy.
Good to see you. He also says, great seeing your backlink live yesterday, Chris.
Okay, cool.
You don't seem to recall this live, Chris.
Backlink live though? I don't know what
or maybe he only seen it yesterday. Maybe it was a
that could be. Yeah, no, I did like a small video, but there wasn't, I don't think there was very many people there. So I was like, I just had a little bit of time before I was going to the pool yesterday with little Chris. And I said, yo, hang tight right there. Give me a second. Let me pop up. I got to make a piece of content real quick.
And we do have Mohammed Ilyas here as well. But guys, we do need your questions. Do pile in with any questions. No such thing as a bad question, or otherwise we'll talk shit all day about the Emirates and traveling. But Chris, you said there you had to make a piece of content. Are you still trying to crank out one a day?
Oh yeah, one a day.
Is that the rule for yourself? One a day on YouTube?
That's the objective, absolutely, which then gets distributed to all. So it's one a day on everything, you know? So one a day, no matter what. I try. I mean, I don't do it on the weekends. But what I'll do is usually on the weekends is I'll just make it like a unique short.
Yeah.
So I'm just filling up my water bottle here. Sorry.
I thought you were taking a leak.
No. No, I'm just transferring big jug. Big jug to little jug. That's all.
Oh,
but yeah, piece of content. Yeah, and lately now with like the restream, it's made it kind of easy to crank out the longer form. The longer form is not only good, but it can then get chopped up into multiple videos, which is what I'll do.
That's what you want. Cannot grumble with that. But guys, you are really slow with questions today. But Michael's got one here, so great to kick us off. He's been doing sales for our SEO software, trying to get new customers. I did collect email, phone number, and socials for a bunch of agencies. Got a process built with ChatGPT. Any sales advice for an SEO software trying to sell it to people? Sales advice in particular, Chris?
People won't buy what they don't see. You know, how are you getting in front of people? How are you showing them what it does and why? Because if it's a piece of software, that means it's probably already been created. So why is it different? How does it work? And where are you showcasing this? Like what advertisements? Like I was going through the library, either I think it was yesterday or this morning, and I was just looking at like just SEMrush's stuff. SEMrush, I was looking at like White Spark stuff. I think it was White Spark or Bright Local, and they'll like any segment of the tool, they push an ad behind it. And I was like, very clever. So, I mean, they're taking one piece. Like it could just be the audit report. Okay, that's an ad. It could just be backlink analysis. Okay, that's an ad. So how are you breaking that down? How are you getting in front of people? So if you want to make sales, it has to be seen, is what I'm getting at. I think my main attention wouldn't be busting the sale. It'd be getting in front of as many people as possible.
I mean, I do a lot of promotion for software for people through whether it be YouTube or social media, email list, that type of thing. And for me, the art of selling it is not to sell it. You demonstrate it for what it's worth, the unique selling points. You don't need to sit here and say, buy this, buy that, 30% off, all this fucking bullshit. If it does what the people want it to do and it solves a solution that one of us have, then it will sell itself. That's the thing. I would say, heavy sales or any kind of weird tips and advice on sales, I don't think are really needed there. I think obviously, getting eyeballs on it, whether that be through paid, whether that's scraping or collecting emails, phone numbers, socials, and that type of thing. I think you've got to just get eyeballs on it, as Chris says, and the more eyeballs on it, it depends on the video and the promotion that you're doing. You've got to make it short, sharp, to the point. It's got to be interesting. So, I think the skill is in the promotion, the video, how you put that out there, and how the person that's doing the promotion captures the audience's attention. So I think you have to think about all of that, and I think it will sell well there. But the goal is to book a demo, the process: email, social engagement, social DM, phone call, email, phone call, last email. It's more like an SOP playbook with some simple built-in tools, trying to get web development freelancers and agency owners aware of how to make more recurring revenue with SEO, which is always a great thing. Education and offering value there is what you want to do. So I think without seeing it, you're probably doing a lot of the right things. You probably just need more eyeballs on it. But you can always pay if there's budget to promote on other people's channels. I'm pretty sure Chris, myself, and various other people out there, if you want in front of their audiences, that there's always a fee associated with that type of thing. But you can also leverage other people with a following rather than all the kind of scraping and trying to get in front of eyeballs yourself. Sometimes just paying someone who has a following is a great way to get that exposure as well. So that is an option as well. Sorry if I've just dropped you in it, Chris, but I'm sure you like some money. Buy some toys for little Chris.
I'm not gonna lie. I get those offers, and I haven't been taken up on it yet, but I usually send them the number.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for a yes one day.
Fucking hell.
One day I'll get a yes. And if they say yes, I'll be there with bells on.
Yeah.
I'll be ready, But yeah, usually I'll get like an offer like that. Hey, I got this. I'm like, sure, 10. Got you.
Yeah. I think that's a bit steep, but we'll talk about that off here at the end.
I know.
It's a bit much. And maybe that's why you're not getting any yeses, but hey. George, what do you do to ensure you're leveraging this information when you work in organic and GBP rankings?
Which information is that?
Yeah,
what do you do to ensure you're leveraging this information when you work on organic and GBP rankings? Which is this? Explain that out, and then...
Yeah, let us know, George. I don't know if we're missing a message here, but that's the only message from yourself that has come through this far. So 2-part post. I'm only seeing one of them, George. Could you post the other part if you can, or repost it? If it had a link in it, it might not show up here. So if you can post that again, that would be great. And we'll come back to that one. Whilst George is doing that, we'll go to Glenart. According to Cora, term frequency is in the top 30 factors for SEO. When you're preparing articles, what term frequency do you use? 3%, 4%? based upon your testing, what term frequency causes a penalty?
It's SERP specific. It depends on what are we trying to rank for. I do believe that term frequency matters. There's no question, but I don't think there's a set number. I know there's not a set number. I believe that it's based upon what's Google rewarding, and then what's the range, and then I'm trying to get within that range, and that's optimized. As far as the penalty is concerned, you go as high as you possibly can until it dips. That's hard to say though. But if I know that the top, if you're using Quora, if I can look at all 100 and I know that the average range is this, the highest guy is this, and the lowest guy is this, or gal, I know I don't want to go above this. You know, if you go above that particular threshold for your page, generally you'll start to dip. But you can usually get really, really high though. As far as like the amount of time you can on the page, very high.
But that's why I like tools like Pop, Surfer, that type of thing. They give you an actual guide as to the frequency that the other guys have got on their page. So it will say, you know, you need to add it a few more times or whatever it may be. So I think that's why, you know, these tools scrape the top 10 search results. You know, these are the ones that have been rewarded, and then you can try and match that, and you shouldn't go too far wrong. But I've never pushed it to see what causes a penalty, so I couldn't give you any information on that side. So hopefully that helps you in some way, Glenart. Swapna, not too sure what that says, but hey, any questions, do put them in there in English only, unfortunately. And we'll do our best to answer them. But Georgie's other part of the post, in the top SEO factors for 2024, number of LSI keywords, number of distinct entities used are at the top ranking factors and have been for a while. So how do you ensure you're leveraging this information when you work on organic and GBP rankings?
We use Quora. I have that's in my fastbar ranking factors.
That's that's your answer. Oh God.
The heck? Just left me. I'm like, wait, what happened?
He can't be asked answering this.
No, oh, I have no, but I have that though. I have that same exact. I go to that page. I forget what it's called, but I go to that page. Ted has a page where it lists those factors out. Plus, we use Quora. I mean, what else is there to say?
Yeah, I think, George, you know, people do use Quora, Surfer, all of these kind of different tools that give you, you know, entities and LSI keywords and everything else. And of course, I think we all try and leverage that to the best of our ability. You know, we try and crank out content and everything else. But I think one of the most important things, as Chris would call it, is going back and fine-tuning it. And that's where this type of data, you know, allows you to refine and tweak the nozzles, if you want to call it that, and tune up the article, and that is what we always want to be doing. And we want to leverage data. We don't want to just do something because Chris Palmer says so. We need to be using data to make those decisions, and that is what these amazing tools and you know, I always say tools like Quora and Ted, he's like the fucking Rain Man. And with the greatest respect, you know, it's Rain Man style level of detail. And for me, I'm glad guys like that are in the industry, and that is you know, very, very helpful for a, you know, a dummy like me who's not quite at that Rain Man level in terms of data. I love the data and I love understanding it, but these guys make the job a lot easier. Or not just Ted, you know, obviously the other tool providers as well. So yeah, I'm leveraging everything I can to give myself the best leg up. I know he didn't tell you to sod off, but I did think that when he disappeared. Mateus, we missed you, Craig, last week during SEO Estonia. Yeah, it looked like a good event. And maybe they'll invite me back some other year. But yeah, it's I thoroughly enjoyed it last year, and hopefully the guys do invite me back again, because I did enjoy it. But sadly, I don't go to events that I'm not speaking at, just because I've already met most of the guys a million times over, including yourself, Mateus. So whilst it would be nice for a party, I was at a better party at SEO on the beach. So so there you go. But maybe next year, mate. Maybe next year. Big Horts is here from Utah. For cities with names like Barrington, South Barrington, Barrington Hills, do search engines get confused and cause keyword cannibalization for those separate pages? You know, is there a need? I mean, I don't know this particular area itself, but I stay in a city called Glasgow, and people do call the south side of Glasgow Glasgow South. And there's certain areas within Glasgow that have the name Glasgow in it, and it has caused me cannibalization issues. Do you need to have separate pages for that? The chances are you don't. You could potentially have subheadings on the page talking about the area. And there's another one. Michael Lycan says Cambridge and Cambridgeshire, which is a place in the UK. Do you think that causes cannibalization issues, Chris? Do you think Google's clever enough to figure it
out? Well, this one here, it looks a little bit fun, right? But the prior example, I noticed that like when we're working in LA and then there's West LA, literally by mentioning it or having it on the page, subheading H3s, H2s, we can usually capture that West LA. So I wouldn't go create multiple pages. Nah, I think you could. I think they're relatively clever.
Yeah,
to a degree.
For me, I would have Glasgow, and then I'd maybe have a subheading saying Glasgow South and say we cover those areas, blah 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 blah, and do it that way. I think one page is enough. I do think Barrington South, Barrington Hills, it's all much the same fucking thing. I'm assuming if it's anything like Glasgow. So yeah, single page for that stuff, and the likes of Cambridge and Cambridgeshire, Michael. Again, it'd be a similar thing. Cambridge is also known as in Cambridgeshire, blah 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 blah. And Cambridge for just so they served you for Cambridge and Cambridgeshire for just their Cambridge page. That's what I would expect to happen. I think Google can understand the difference between both. I would hope they do, but there's certain areas like maybe Barrington, South Barrington and stuff where Google don't understand. It wins sometimes and doesn't others. But adding other instances of those words on that page and subheaders is the right answer there. So do that, Big Hawks, rather than have those individual pages. But keep the questions coming, folks. Do also leave us a like and subscribe on the channel. Also, don't forget Mr. Chris Palmer's channel. He said earlier he tries to crank out a video a day, even a little short. So, a question on the videos, Chris. Obviously, you've established yourself on YouTube, and people now know who you are and all that stuff. Do you ever think about expanding the type of videos you put out, or are you still just SEO, SEO, SEO?
I mean, I know SEO. What else would I talk about?
Yeah, that's true. Business. Business type stuff, CRM type stuff. And you're using a lot of these things in your own business, and you've obviously solved a lot of your own personal problems. You never think of just trying to broaden it slightly? But you use
No,
CRMs, you use task managers, no, you
the only
hire staff.
as I've been learning it a lot better and using it for myself, I think maybe I'll start expanding into YouTube SEO, and then also PPC. But that's the only thing I would expand to. It's like just an offshoot, you know, like video SEO, and then PPC, Facebook, YouTube ads, Google ads. I've been thinking about advertising in YouTube SEO though. So yeah, I have thought about it, but as far as like, I've never thought of anything else. You know, maybe like musical stuff for fun, but
yeah,
that's it.
I'm just curious. I always think, how can I broaden the audience?
Yeah, I really like the ads. I like ads, so I think that's pretty much about it.
Fair enough. Honey says average engagement time reduced from 1 minute to 10 seconds due to traffic flood from social media. Does that hurt your Google SEO ranking?
I mean, it could, but I would venture to guess no, because they're going to see where it came from, what the user did, where they came from, where they went after that. I would assume that it would help, not hurt, but hard to say, because some instances maybe it could hurt you, but others it won't. So that's very difficult to say.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we would. Yeah, you need to do deeper analysis on that.
Plus, it's Google. Like, they're so like, one time you'll be like, "Wow, this is the ticket." Then you do it again, and you're like, maybe not." So,
no, burnt fuck out my website. Business growth ready. Same page for areas, adding driving details from the area to area south with a few words like only 5 minutes drive or 12 minutes on the bus, and a few photos can help as well. So some advice there from Business Growth Ready. Always good to see you, mates. Glenart, we are preparing to do a reciprocal backlink outreach campaign. We are a DR90 site with 7,000 referring domains and 1 million new users per month. If we offer links on our site, what sort of response percentage can we expect on a DR90 with a lot of traffic? What would you expect, Chris? A much higher response rate?
I would venture to guess you might get a good, anybody that you would want that would be of equal value, they would have no interest. You're going to get subpar stuff to yourself, I would venture to guess. I'm sure you'll be able to accumulate some, but do you really want to share links with anybody else? I'm sure you'll have a good response, but it won't be sites like yours.
Yeah, that is the concern. Not many people have got DR90s anyway. So, but you might still be happy with some DR60s or whatever it may be, Glenart. So really depends on what you want out of it.
And plus, for every one that I get, I have to give one. I don't like that. I don't know.
I'll give you a link from mine for a DR90 link.
Sure.
There's a response straight away. So yeah, hit me up if you want to give me a DR90 in exchange for whatever my shitty DR is. I think it's 58 or something. So
you got to be higher than that.
Nah, dude, I'm not. I've not done a lot on my own website for a few years. I'm trying to do more on it now, so I need to dig in and do some more work on it. But I kind of left it for a few years, to be honest. Never done a lot of PR, big links or anything like that. So it's coming back though. I'm doing some PR this week, so
man. Speaking of that PR, what do you think about that?
I mean, I'm selling it as well as a service, and it's good, man. We've got someone doing it for us now, and we're hitting some great big links, so it's working very well. I'm not talking about
Basic distribution.
I'm talking about real PR.
Featured posts.
Journalists. Yeah. Getting some of the kind of high ticket websites to link back. So that's the plan with that. So yeah, we offer that as a service. It's obviously a relatively expensive service, but if you want to land those big links, then they cost a few quid to try and acquire them. So yeah,
that's fair.
But I think, Glenart, to go back to yours, I don't think you'll have any shortage of offers of people wanting on your DR90. So just be careful how much outreach you do, because you could be inundated with people looking to take that. And as I say, I'm assuming it's a big company, a big brand based on the DR and the users and everything else. So yeah, it's Coca-Cola or something like that, or to do that, I'm sure people would be biting their fucking hands off, and word would get spread around the community going, oh, these motherfuckers are fucking doing this. So, I think if you'd done initial outreach, I think word would spread like wildfire, and before you know it, all the SEO wolves will be fucking banging at your door. Get me. So, that's how the SEO guys work, right? They all fucking talk to each other, and there'll be someone in the mastermind going, oh yeah, here's this DR90, and before you know it, all the guys in the mastermind are telling all their mates, and yeah, it's
and then it's cooked.
Yeah, cooked. Yeah,
that's right.
Brace yourself, Glenart. Just don't forget me and Chris first.
That's right.
But fucking hell, it's really slow with questions today. Give us more questions, folks. We do have 29 minutes left. So put your questions in. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Anything you're struggling with, anything you just want a second opinion on, throw it in the chat, and we'll be more than happy to try our best to answer whatever it is you have. So please do that. Just checking it is out on, it's on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. So yeah, it's all out live on all the usual places. There are people watching, so don't just sit there listening. Give us something to talk about, and yeah,
give us something to talk about.
It's not a bank holiday or anything, is it? It's not some public holiday.
Man, the 19th? I don't think so. Wednesday the 19th? I don't think so.
Nah.
Is today a holiday? Come on, Google. Juneteenth.
What the fuck?
National Independence Day. It's a federal holiday in the United States. Right. I didn't know. Dude, I didn't know. Wow. News to me.
News to me as well. But
I woke up
in the States.
I can be 6:30, ready to rock. Like, all right, boys, it's time. Called my brother up. All right, dude, what we got to do?
It's a holiday for someone in USA. No, you can definitely tell it's definitely quieter than normal. So
everybody's sleeping. It's noon. They're like, I ain't getting up. That's funny.
But Business Growth Ready asking, why does a 5-minute task take hours? Does that take you hours, Chris?
Not necessarily. No. Depends on what it is.
I think the answer is, for a lot of people, they have some form of ADHD or similar type issues in this industry, which means that they don't take action. They just sit and fuck around, and that's where a 5-minute task can take you hours. By the time you work yourself up to it and fuck around, and your scatty brain starts doing all sorts of different things. Certainly for me, I recently got diagnosed with ADHD. I knew I had it anyway, but I wanted to get the test for someone just to say, you've got it. Done that recently, and answers a lot of questions on my end in terms of how I do certain things, and I think that is one of the things that I do. 5-minute tasks can take hours at times, just because of my scattered brain approach to things. But
do you have ADD or ADHD?
ADHD.
So you have ADHD.
Yeah. So got medication and stuff for it now. Basically, the consultant person that I spoke to is saying, Craig, it's like your brain has 50 tabs open and you're always fucking all about. And when you start to take the medication, it's like having one tab open and it just helps you focus a bit more. So I am definitely a scatterbrain. You know, when I open up a few tabs, look at my emails, jump to social media, I'm very easily distracted. So I might have been going to send an email like marketing campaign out, and before you know it, I've replied to 5 emails and I've spoke to 3 people in social media. And that's why things take me so long, because I'm a fucking nutcase. So, and I think, you know, a lot of people in this industry seem to have that. They're fucking off their heads. So
Not me.
Fucking hell. Chris, someone says to me, and I'm going to say the exact same to you, I think if you went in front of the doctor, I don't even think they would test you. They would just hand you the
Here, take the script and get out. But man, I'm surprised.
Said that to me. He's like, Craig, because we were talking about it. So me and Kyle were sat outside an event once, and I says, Kyle, why do you never go in and watch any of the speakers? And he says, why do you not go in and see any of the speakers? And I went, I asked you first, like, tell me why. And he went, because I've got ADHD and I can't fucking concentrate in there. And I'm like, well, I says, maybe I've got ADHD then, because I don't like to concentrate in there. And he went, of course you have, Craig. He says, if you went to the doctor, they would fucking hand you the pill straight away. He says, you've definitely got it. And that's something that's kind of stuck in my head.
Have you been taking the medicine?
I only got them today. So you need to take them first thing in the morning, because it works for like 12 hours. And
which one is it?
It's called, give me a second to go and get it. 1 second.
Meanwhile, today is Juneteenth. I didn't know that today was a holiday. Also, I noticed that my assistant is losing her mind. She posted 3 posts in the last 3 hours on Twitter. What the heck? I'm going to tell her to settle down. Like, please. You don't need 1 an hour.
Elvancy.
Elvancy.
Yeah. So there we go. So yeah, I'll give that a try and see if it does anything for me. I'm curious. I'm desperate to see what kind of impact it has on me.
Wow. Oh, I never because I tried those as like a younger guy. And I realized, like, at first it's awesome and you're focused, right? But then I realized, like, it makes you, like, you know how, like, not everybody's like this, like, we're outgoing, right? Like, it's a different, and we talk, and that's how we were able to find success, right? It zaps that part out of you, though.
Oh, really?
It did me. I don't know about that one. I didn't take that one. That's why I asked which one did you take? But I noticed, like, it won't happen at first, but when you get a month in or so, like, you'll just notice, like, yeah, you're in the zone on a specific thing, but I don't know. It's hard to describe, but it takes away the part where you want to be super, like, outgoing and talkative, and, like, you'll find yourself wanting to do more stuff by yourself. Like, it wasn't for me, but I didn't take that one though.
I'll try it and see how it goes.
But that first 2 times, those first few days, you're gonna have a good time. You probably get a lot done, to be quite frank. That's funny.
Michael has a question. What are some of the best use cases you've been getting out of ChatGPT for SEO stuff? Maybe intuitive use cases.
I use GPT for Chrome and Sheets, and I use it for, like, hey, go sort this list, or hey, give me my tags with commas between them for YouTube. I'll speak. I do text to speech for like my documents or whatever, or the YouTube descriptions. We'll just say, because I use that every single day, and I'll just say whatever, and then I'll say, okay, write this, rewrite this, make it more professional and concise, and use proper grammar and punctuation, and it'll spit it out for me. Also, too, for like now I'm building, like when I have an idea, I'll make it into a Python script, and then I give it to my guy. And I'll say, hey, put a front end on this. And then we make little tools out of it for myself. So I don't know if that answers your question, but I use it all the time. And I find myself using it more and more for little ideas or questions or repetitive tasks that I don't want to do. It's actually making me lazier. Sometimes I try not to use it because I feel like I'm like slacking then. Does that make it do like all my work? Kind of, in a way.
Yeah.
Like like it takes even thinking out of the equation for some things, which I don't like. Like by the time little C gets up, dude, like everything's just going to be like click, done.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just feel some kind of way. Like I feel like, man, like, I don't know, but I use it all the time.
But you can use it for lots of different things. I know people who basically do Harrow outreach using it, and you can create bots using ChatGPT. There's so many fucking things you can do. So yeah, that's all I can really say. But Honey is saying using ChatGPT content for backlinking is violation of Google guidelines? ? Is it?
Is it? Yeah, I don't. Where's that? Where does it say that? I think if you're just copying and pasting, maybe. But after your editing process, after your optimization, after your structuring and your original images, and you create that piece of content, that's an original, robot created piece of content, I think. I think you're using it as an assistant, not as everything. I don't think that's against the guidelines. No matter which way they put the guidelines, I'm going to tell you, no, it's not. So I'm the wrong guy to ask. Like, no matter what, like, oh, this is the guideline. Well, I do it this way. Like, okay, that's fine. You know, that's me though.
And Michael Lycan saying ADHD meds from 5th grade through high school, and it zapped him hard. It for sure was a downer for him. So thank you. That is one of the reasons why I've not been tested before until now. I didn't want to change myself, but I think I want to try it to see if it changes me for the better.
100%.
Because it didn't work for certain people doesn't mean it will have that effect on me. And I think you just got to try shit, and if it doesn't work, then happy fucking days. I understand now what I've got, and I can understand things a bit clearer in my head. So that's all I really needed, to be honest. I don't think there's anything wrong with having that style of illness, if you want to call it that. It's just you've got to work around it sometimes. And
man, and you didn't think of it as your gift?
No, I've thought of it as a gift as well. I think I've certainly got a lot of traits that this may have pushed me, to be what I am. And, I just do sometimes feel that it's a bit of a hindrance not being able to focus or concentrate all of the time. I do switch off fairly easy. But everything else, I'm happy with. I love being a scatterbrain. I love being loud. I love being a crazy fucker or whatever. I like all of that stuff, but it's just sometimes when you want to sit and listen and you just fucking can't. You're just like, fuck. I want to listen to this and you can't, just to get fidgety and agitated. And so I think just fine tuning it, and if that can do that for me, happy days.
Yeah.
But if it changes me and I start not wanting to be with people and stuff, I think I would be coming off it fairly quickly. So we'll try it out, see what happens.
I assure you that the first today, later on today when you eat that, you're gonna get a lot done. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna get like so much done.
I'm not taking it till tomorrow morning. They recommend you take it at breakfast time, so I've got a
With
lot
food
to
or without
do.
food?
They're supposed to take it after breakfast.
Just skip the meal and just eat it, and then just get ready for work.
We shall see.
No, definitely eat. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not.
Jose is here. Are toxic links a thing now after the recent updates, or don't really matter? What's your opinion on that, Chris?
That's an interesting question. Well, who's to deem it or toxic? So you're leaning on SEMrush's evaluation, which is interesting. That's fine. I like SEMrush. Yes, bad links are bad links, but they first need to be deemed as bad, right? So it's hard for me to gauge. I don't know what links you're getting or where you're getting them or what they look like. What I do know, though, is links that have high or sites that have high levels of outbound definitely have been devalued, I've realized. Yeah, bad links are bad links, but who's there to deem them? Google is the decider. So
let me rephrase it slightly then, Chris. What if someone pops a bunch of fucking porn links at your website? You know, a big nasty anchor saying "fuck me hards" or whatever it might be. Are you disavowing that shit?
How many RD and what's the how many?
Let's just say it's 20 of them. And
so there's 20 of them, but their porn links are like, what's the RD on them though? Like, are they porn links that are like DR2s that say F me hard?
Yeah. Some crappy stuff like that.
I mean, I wouldn't disavow them at first, but once I get a batch of 100, maybe I would start cleaning that up.
Yeah.
But like, if I just saw a few of them, I'm not going to spend my time wasting. And then if I see some really high referring domains, high powered stuff in there, I'm definitely leaving that.
Yeah. Fair enough. I think that pretty much answers the question. But yeah, penalty worthy. I think you need to be careful, Jose. You know, if it's going to get you in trouble or potentially get you in trouble, I would clean it up. But if it's something that's of high power but not fully relevant, why remove it? It could be doing you more good than harm. So, but everyone's got a different opinion on it. Some people fully believe in disavowing. Some people don't believe in it and think that Google can ignore backlinks and all that kind of stuff. So very different topic. You know, people have got different opinions on it. So but Michael is sorry, go for it.
No, I was gonna like definitely since I would say September of last year. Have you noticed a massive shift though of the value of a link? Not cost, but the lift that you get.
Potentially, yeah. Potentially.
Like I find myself building far more than I had to before.
But is that because of increased competition?
Yeah, that's hard. Yeah, I haven't been able to pinpoint that. See, I just put it to, I thought just what they're valuing or devaluing or what's on the content and how they're evaluating it has changed.
I think they're always going to change the weightage on certain things all of the time. That's what their algorithms are all about. So, but also, could it be increased competition? Could it be that the links that you're getting are fucking saturated with every other motherfucker's link and it's not passing as much value to you? You know, maybe you need to get fresher inventory. There could be a whole bunch of different reasons. But yeah, you potentially, I certainly would agree that you probably need to get more, but I would have probably put that down to just everyone's doing some form of link building now, whereas before, you know, you slapped a few links around and you got the lift that you were expecting to see. But you know, everyone's building links now, so you need to build that little bit more. That's my perception of it. But You may be right. Maybe it's something to do with the weight that's
But
allocated.
man, that used to be, you know, citations, directory, do a PR, get your links, and build 5 to each service page, and you know, 60 days later, you gold. Now it's like, damn, I gotta build 20 to every page. Like, geez, you're really cutting in the profits here.
That's never good. Cutting into
No, you know, it's like, dang, now I have to allocate. Yeah, it takes more links to reach the finish line now. That's all. It's good and bad. Good for this business, bad for this business. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Michael's saying he only disavowed links once, and it was from a super heavy negative SEO attack in a luxury golf real estate niche.
Wow, that's an interesting lineup. Luxury golf, real estate. That sounds kind of cool. That's an interesting angle, right? Don't you agree?
I've worked in the luxury golf niche, but they had no real estate involved in it. Yeah. But the luxury golf niche is a very, very lucrative niche. So I'm going to make the assumption the luxury golf real estate niche is even more
delicious.
We used to target Scotland's great for golf. Scotland's got some of the best golf courses in the world, according to professionals and stuff like that. And a lot of Americans, rich Americans, come to Scotland just to play golf. So we had someone who done luxury golf tours. So basically an American would phone up and say, me and my 6 mates want to play in this course, that course, that course, that course. We want to fly from each of them by helicopter, blah, 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 blah. And they would just say, you know, it's 200 grand to facilitate all of that. And these rich Americans were just throwing the money at this golf tour company, and they would just customize the trip. It was insane, the amounts of money and the amounts of people that fucking came to Scotland to play golf. So, and he's also went on, Michael's also went on to say 88 to $20 million properties in Naples, Florida, which is
right by my hometown.
It's like houses next to golf courses, not golf courses themselves. So, yeah.
Man, that's right where I grew up. I grew up in Lehigh.
Nice.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's where we used to call them the Richies. That's where all the Richies live. Naples, Cape Coral, Punta Gorda, Sanibel Beach. That's the other side.
You stayed in the poor bit?
For sure. Yeah, but my buddies lived over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely had, all my friends had pools.
I stayed in a so-called rich area in Glasgow. It's just a shame that the part of that area that I stayed in was the only council estate in the area. So everyone said, you said the name of the area, and people are like, oh fuck, really? That's quite posh. And you're like, nah, not my bit. That's where the fucking scumbags stay. But lots of oil money down there for sure. In Florida, I need to get to Florida. I've not been. I'd love to go. I think if Big Merlino does his SEO on the beach there next year, I'll get along to it and enjoy some of that Florida sunshine. If no one else is having an event out there, and if someone else has an event out there, I'll go there first. But yeah, I'd like to see Florida. It's definitely on the to-do list. Yeah. Why the fuck not? I've been to a lot of places in America, but Florida, not one of them. I've been to fucking Nashville. I've been to Dallas. I've been to fucking Vegas.
I like Vegas.
New York. Memphis. I can't even remember all of the places, but I've been to a fair few now. So,
all the hot spots.
Yeah. Went to see Elvis's house.
Cool. How was that? Was it sweet?
It was weird to see it because I'd watched a lot of videos on that guy. Quite an interesting guy, and I like watching conspiracy theories and all that. And people are obviously saying that he didn't die and he got taken away in a helicopter and all that. So I've watched a lot of shit on YouTube, and then to see it all in real life was pretty interesting. I also went to see where JFK gets shot as well when I was out in Dallas and went along to the Dealey Plaza and checked all that shit out.
Stood on the
Which was
spot.
yeah, dude, it was rather bizarre after watching all the videos and the conspiracy theories about it, and then actually being there was really quite strange. But that was
Hey.
I find shit like that interesting. So I'm sure I'll see more on my travels. But
Conspiracy theories, huh?
yeah, they're fucking brilliant, brilliant. But there's a conspiracy going on here, guys. There's no questions coming, so any last minute questions, we've got a few minutes left. So if you do have anything, the time is now. Wait till you see this. They'll all fucking pile in and we'll be here 5 minutes over time, which is always the case. But let us know if you've got any final questions, guys. We'll give you a minute or so to do that. Otherwise, whoop, there's one there. Otherwise,
there they are. Okay.
do you guys think direct link swaps are black hat and bad to do? Or would you always do a three-way link stuff?
I mean, as long as it's not reciprocal every time. A few reciprocals, fine. No problem. But like a link exchange, I don't want to do back and forth every single time. Now, hey, I give you a link on this asset and maybe you have these over here and you'll hook me up. That's just proper link building. And no, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Nah, mix it up. But I would prefer someone links to me and I don't link back, in all honesty.
Been better.
So, yeah. That's the one-way link method. As long as it's not always one way to build links. So, yeah. But rank 1 PK, what tools do you use for writing which provide about NLP keywords like stuff for SEO?
So for normal writing stuff, if it's something that's within the store, we're using Page Optimizer. If it's monthly client stuff, then we use Quora to pull. Now, what APIs they're using, I'm assuming they're pulling right from Google. But that's what we stand on. It's Quora and Page Optimizer.
Yeah, I've got all three. I've got stuff for Page Optimizer and Quora. That's my three go-to tools for now.
I always recommend Surfer for like beginners. Like if you're just starting out and you're, like you know your niche, but you're new to SEO and you just want something easy that'll give you something, then I always say Surfer. But if you know a little bit more and you want to dive in, then I used to say Page Optimizer.
Yeah. Posey is asking, how's the website flipping going now? Good time to build or sell? Not really. Hosey, I think a lot of websites that have been slapped over the last 6 to 9 months has resulted in the multiples on websites going down. And a lot of websites have been slapped that hard they're no longer worth anything. So people are trying to build them back up before they sell them. So I think that type of market has slowed down considerably based on the most recent updates. A lot of these websites that were getting bought and sold were ads related websites, affiliate websites and stuff like that. And I think a lot of them were slapped quite hard. So yeah, it's not as fast as it once was, and certainly the multiples are not what they once were. And I think people are scared, if you like, with all these updates and maybe jumping into other niches and doing different things. So not quite as good as it once was, Jose, but it will come back. It will come back. It's just an unsettled time at the moment. So hopefully that answers it. Rank 1 PK is saying, if you checked out Nathan Gotch's tool, Rankability, never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
I'll have a look. He's obviously a smart guy, Nathan. Last question from Michael. Have you seen? Yes, I have been asked so many times to say purple burglar alarm in my accent. Purple burglar alarm is what we say. Yeah, I have seen the meme and been presented that many, many times. What does it sound like when I say that, Chris? Purple burglar alarm.
Purple. He got me stumbling. Purple burglar alarm. It's just the last one has a gerbil. Say alarm.
Alarm.
See, now it was clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you just slow it down some, it's. I think it's clear. See, people always say that, like they're like, "Oh, I can't understand them," but I never, ever, ever have a problem with you. Have you ever? Maybe once or twice. I'm like, can you? It's not you. But when I talk to like, nah, Mark doesn't do it to me. I'm trying to think who's the guy that I was talking to, and I was like, man, your friend. I just talked to him the other day. He's a cool dude. He's got the SEO. Totally. Like now that's I was having trouble understanding him.
Yeah, his accent is fucking rough.
That's thick. Like I never have any trouble like understanding you at all, ever.
And no problem at all. Michael, last little thing. Elvis Presley is with Michael Jackson training Sherger's horse at Bill Gates' house underground lair. Found it on Alta Vista AI results. You never know. You never know. But, guys, we are out of time for this week. We got there in the end. Although it was slow, we didn't realise it was a fucking holiday in America.
No, not at all.
But we do thank you for all the questions and keeping us going. And we will be back at the same time next week. But before you do go, check out chrispalmer.org. He's got services and fucking content and everything else that is possible to get there. So there's a lot of free information and there's always a lot of paid services if you can't be bothered doing it yourself. And finally, channel sponsor, The News Guy. The link is below if you're wanting a press release from Mr. Randy Roday. Top-notch service, and it is definitely worth checking out. So check that out, guys. And we'll catch you next week.
See ya.
See ya.
Have a good one.